Hey, what's up guys? My name's Samuel Leeds. I'm a property investor. I make a lot of money in property, but I also absolutely love vlogging the journey, teaching people how to make money and how to become financially free in property. Every Sunday at 7 p.m, I like to give an opportunity to answer my fans' questions and issues and niggling problems. So this week, I've put together a list of last week's questions and comments. If you have questions for me, comment them below in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them next week. But right now, here are the ones that we've had selected. Armani Morris has said, I cannot wrap my head around refinancing. Someone, please help. And then also there's been quite a few questions about refinancing as well. Like Kieran Selby said, how do I go about refinancing in the first 6 months of owning a buy-to-let? So let me talk a little bit about what refinancing is, and then I'll go on to answer your question as well, Kieran. Say I want to buy, this is a house, and I want to buy it. Before you buy the house, you can borrow money from the bank, and we call this money a mortgage to buy the house, because we're like, geez, I can't afford that. I can't afford £100,000 to buy this house. So typically you can borrow with buy-to-let up to about 80% of the value of the house. So in this occasion, this house is £100,000. I want to buy it. I can't afford to buy it. So I'll put some of my own money down, maybe £20,000, and I'll borrow £80,000. Now the bank isn't just going to give you £80,000 and just say, I trust you to buy this house. Here's the 80 grand, have fun. They want to know that you're actually going to be buying this house, and they're going to check you out. They're going to check the house out. They're going to check the house is actually worth £100,000. And when they give you the £80,000 loan, which is debt, but it's good debt because it's on a house, as long as the house is good. When they give you the £80,000, what they're going to say is they're going to say that they want a charge on this house, meaning that if you just say, thanks for the money, I'm not going to pay you back now, they can take this from you. So you own the house, it's in your name, but they have a charge on it. So if you don't give them their money back in the agreed way, then they're going to take it from you. That is a mortgage. Now, a mortgage is typically over like a 35 year term. The interest rates are about 3%. If you can't make money on borrowing and paying back just 3% interest, and you can't make money, then you really suck, because 3% is that means you borrow 100 grand and you're going to be paying 3 grand a year, which is how much a month? Like £280 a month. Like the rent's going to be a lot more than that. That's what a mortgage is. Now, what is a refinance? How does that work? A refinance is when you get a mortgage on a property, but you do it after you bought the house. You could buy the house, for instance, you could buy it in cash. You could buy this with your own money. I'll buy this house for 100 grand. And then the house maybe goes up in value and it becomes worth 150 grand. It's gone up in value. So you've made £50,000 in equity. Your house is now worth more, but you only bought it for 100. At this point, you go to the bank and you say, hey, I've got this house, it's worth 150,000. I bought it for 100, but it's gone up since then. I did a bit of work on it, the economy's lifted, it's gone up. Can you please lend me 80% or 75%, whatever you can get? Please can you lend me 80% of the value of the purchase price? So now they're going to give you 80% of the value of this house. They're going to give you 80%, of which you can use that money to buy more houses. So as long as they have the charge on the property, and as long as they're not going to, over leverage would be if they said, and this is what the banks were doing in 2006, sure man, you could have 100% mortgage. In fact, you could have 125% mortgage. They were going crazy. So that's what it is. So to answer your question, what's a refinance? A refinance would be, and this is why as a property investor that you can maximize off of this. What you can do is you can say, I'll buy this house, I'll buy it for 80 grand, and I'll get a bridging loan. A bridging loan is just it's not really a mortgage, it's just like a short-term loan, which is used for property usually. So you could buy it for £80,000 and then add value to it, or wait for the property to go up in value, and then you just get a new mortgage on it. And then they'll lend on against the property, against equity on the property. So that is what it is. I hope that answers the question from Armani about you can't wrap your head around refinancing. To answer Kieran's property, how do I go about refinancing in the first 6 months of owning it? It depends on If you bought it and you got a mortgage on it and you're already leveraged, why do you want to refinance it? You can only get a new mortgage on it if you've lifted the value. Otherwise, there's no point getting a new mortgage on it. There was a 6-month rule which said that you have to wait 6 months. So if you buy it for cash and then you add value to it, you've got to wait 6 months of owning it before you can get a mortgage on the house. They've actually scrapped that rule. There's some lenders now, Kent Reliance. You can buy a house on a bridging loan, you can add value to it and you can refinance it immediately, like the next day. As soon as the value's been added, there's no 6-month rule. So Kent Reliance, check them out, great lender. I use Kent Reliance quite a lot. So I hope that clears that up. If you've got more questions on that, comment below, and I might even do a whole video around bridging loans, maybe sometime soon, if that helps. Okay, next. As a deal sourcer, where do you find investors? If you find good enough deals, the investors will begin to find you. Number one skill as a property entrepreneur or a property investor is just find good deals. There's no point understanding about financing and bridging and all this. You can understand everything, but unless you can actually find a property deal that's good, it's not going to help. So first thing I would say is, before you even try and find investors, just find good deals. Where do I find investors? I put myself out there, man. I do a video on YouTube every single day. I do not have a problem finding investors. I don't actually package and sell property deals. I don't do that anymore. I used to do it, but I don't do it anymore because I don't want to compete with my students. Put yourself out there. Tell the world that you're a property investor. Go to networking events. Come on training programs and network on social media. Don't be selly though. Don't be selly. Like, always serve before you sell, you know, but make sure if you're trying to hook up an investor with an investment, make sure you get payment up front or make them sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, because investors, they'll always try and cut you out of the deal. So hope that helps. That was from the Road to Financial Freedom who asked the question. So hope that answers your question, and I hope that you are closer to your road to financial freedom as a result of my answer. Okay, who have we got next? Lorinko Binko. Hey Samuel, thanks for the great videos. Keep up the good work. I am thinking of investing in property with my brother and dad and pooling our money together, hopefully build a portfolio quickly. What strategy would you use in this case? Also, does this mean we would be best to use a limited company to split profits? Firstly, it's really important that equal reward, equal risk. So if you're all putting the same amount of money in the pot, then fine. Make sure that you have really clear understandings, exit strategies, have a contract, even with your family. Sometimes you can think, I don't need a contract because we trust each other. It's not about trust, it's about clarity. So it's none of this, oh, I thought you said this. No. So have a clear agreement. Think of all the different scenarios that could go wrong, write them down, and do, if this happens, then we decide we would then do this. Decisions are always better made in the cold light of day before any problems have arisen. In regards to, would you be better to use a limited company? Yeah, absolutely. Again, depending on what kind of joint venture you want to set up, it could be that you set up a like one company where you all come on as shareholders and you're kind of have a third equal profits. You put money in the pot and then you start growing. You know, just make sure you get legal advice, accountant and a solicitor, to make sure that you're doing it properly. But yeah, you're on the right page. You know, put money together, club together. Also as well, just because you've joined a business together and you've started buying houses, you need to also be clear that doesn't necessarily mean that you can only ever buy houses with your brother and dad. It could be that you say, look, we're going to put 50 grand in each, and then with that money, strategy, you ask which strategy will be the best. Depends how much money you've got. My favorite strategy right now is buying a house, adding value to it, and then refinancing it. I love doing that because you can just keep going, recycling your money again and again. Depends how much money you got, depends on your goals. If you've only got 5 grand each and you want to all quit your jobs within the next 3 weeks, then my advice will be very different. Then I might say, do some rent to service accommodation deals. If you've got 50 grand each and you're wanting to build wealth, then I'd say buy a house, maybe split it up, refurb it. So it really just depends, but also get the training. Like, honestly, I can't even stress that enough. The amount of people that do bad deals, lose money, get bad builders just because I've not been in the right environment and they've not got the proper training. So I would always encourage get training. And when I say training, I'm not necessarily just talking about books and podcasts and CDs. I'm talking about get in the right environment. And that's why I run training programs, because I'm a real believer that people learn well together. And when you're in an environment where you're growing and you're learning and you're doing deals together, in a safe way, you're just gonna go so much further. So I hope that helped. Last question, this is JW. Hi Samuel, can you get into property based in London? Of course you can. Seems difficult as cheap investment opportunities are all in the north. Depends what you want. Yeah, you're gonna struggle to get a cheap investment opportunity in London unless you buy a shed, because London's really expensive. But then, although London's expensive, it doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities there, because London's the capital city, you know, so there's a lot of opportunities in London. There's a lot of investments there, there's a lot of development opportunities, the rents are very high. You can make money anywhere. You've just got to work out, what do you know, what do you want, how much money have you got to play with. But what I would say is there's nothing wrong with living in London. I'm living in London now. We're just in the process of moving all our stuff over. We're moving to Buckinghamshire. Our office is going to be in London. But that doesn't mean that all my investments are going to be in London. People that think they have to only buy where they live are very narrow-minded. And if you think that you have to buy where you live, I would just question why. Why do you have to buy where you live? Are you really doing it because you feel that if the house was far away and then there was a problem, you wouldn't be able to get involved? But my point would be, well, you shouldn't be getting involved anyway. You should be buying houses that are going to give you a lot of money, a good return on investment, and you should be having power team in place so that it's passive income for you. It's passive. So buy anywhere, but just make sure that the figures stack up and you have a good power team in place. Guys, thank you for your great questions. I'm sure you've got more questions. Comment them below because I love answering them. I love seeing you succeed. Your success is my oxygen. So if you do go on to succeed as a result of my training, whether it be the YouTube videos or the courses that we run, please let me know, because I'd like to invite you to come down to the offices and have an interview with you on Winners Wednesday. So smash that like button. Get yourself subscribed if you're not already. It's amazing how many people watch the videos and aren't subscribed. It's nuts. You don't want to miss videos. Get subscribed, smash the notification button so you don't miss a video, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.